So let's say you're making $25 an hour, and you got to fuck your boss, and she'll give you a raise. Nobody will know. Are you gonna fuck your boss and get the raise, or just leave it?
That's a hard one.
So we're not going to go with his question, but we're going to go with this one.
I gotta edit that out, Ed. Thank you.
I'm married, so I would say I'm not fucking my boss. If I wasn't married, oh, that shit's going down.
I do a lot of things to get places. I'm not being a whore.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you gotta give ahead to get ahead, you know?
I'll fuck my boss all day to get a raise.
Wait, whoa.
And
You
he's
said
a,
about
and
head. You just said
I didn't
doing
say
it.
I didn't say
Hold
head.
on.
I never said head.
So no head?
No head?
I'll fuck my boss to get a raise. He's a really nice guy. And with that being said, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's having a great week as usual. We're back with another podcast. Everybody seemed to like our fear podcast. Or was that what we did last time? I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it was fear.
I'm very impressed with these two right here because these two guys are the fucking worst at making deadlines, and we've been hitting deadlines straight.
We're trying.
We're
We've been doing all right.
We're hitting deadlines, and even this
I'm
week,
sorry.
I was worried that we weren't going to hit it. But
Hey,
before
boys. Can you crack it?
I was just about to get into that. Jesus, is this your podcast
You gotta
or
fucking
mine?
cut him off all the time.
I swear
Yeah.
to God. All
Yeah,
right, guys.
we're
With that
beefing.
being, are we? You don't want
No.
to beef with me. I'm not the one.
We're beefing for the cameras.
We beef off cameras. And let's go crack one with the boys. Ooh. These aren't even... This one's still lukewarm.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate. 1, 2, 3, pound it.
Oh my god.
You don't like it. I know you don't.
Oh, that's dangerous. It's also 7.1.
You do not
Is
like
that an
it.
IPA?
Yeah.
It's an IPA?
Yeah, it's the Deftones Phantom Bread. My buddy Ivan left it here. for
I
the
need
people
to
listening.
find that one because I found the
It's
other
really
one. I've
good.
never found the IPA one. I've always wanted to try that.
You came
IPA?
through with something. It's really good.
IPA?
IPA.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
So, what are we doing today, Steve?
Oh, man.
Your mom.
Man.
I heard you have a doozy for us today.
I do. So a couple podcasts ago, me and RC talked about it, and we disagreed. Me and RC rarely disagree on things. It's weird because we're total opposites. We just don't really disagree with each other. Like, he likes guns, I like nunchucks, things like that. But we disagreed on whether you put your 2 weeks notice in. And that got me thinking about jobs and about careers. And I feel like we're all on different pages and we all work for different industries. And I don't want to just cover like, oh, we work here, we got to put this on that shelf, we do this, things like. I want to get kind of deep into it and talk about ideas. And one of the big ideas that's sparking up right now, that's really been prominent, it's been paramount all over news, is quiet quitting. I have the definition or a definition right here, and I want to ask the boys.
Actually, wrong.
Yeah. What do you think about quiet quitting, and what do you know about it? Or do you have a definition of it? And don't yell at your cat.
Don't yell at your cat.
You're being a ragamuffin.
All right, quiet quitting. Ed, what do you think? Well, let's go RC because I heard you kind of know a little bit about it. Go ahead, RC. What do you think?
I have no idea what fucking quiet quitting means. Like, if you just take the variable of what it is, quiet quitting, I feel that's like where yourself or a group of individuals walk out on a position or job without alerting anybody, right? So, like I've seen it lately where food service employees will just decide, fuck this place, and everybody will quit right then and there. They'll all walk out, they'll put signs on the doors, lock the place up, and leave. And that's it. The company, the organization, the owner, whoever, they're left to their devices with thinking their place is being ran when it's really not. All those dudes just walk the fuck out.
That's some shit.
That's what I would think of when it comes to like quiet quitting.
Yeah, and that's a good. Using just the base words, I feel like that would be a good way. Ed.
So I'll say what I thought it was before I kind of found out what it was.
Good.
What I initially thought was what Steven mentioned about not just you just leave and just don't come back, don't put your 2 weeks or nothing, just quit. Because it's quiet. You're not telling anybody. You're just gone.
Yeah, no call, no show. Just be done with it.
That was my initial thought when I heard the term. But, of course, that's not what it is. But, yeah, we'll find out in a second. Steven?
So my initial thought of quiet quitting was where you're quitting a job, but you just don't let anyone know. That's what I thought. Like, mum's
Okay.
the word.
Okay.
The actual like an idea. It's an idea. It's a new idea. That's a new age idea. It's not. You're not outright quitting your job, but you're quitting the idea of going above and beyond. Now this is not. I guess this is since it's not a
Okay.
new. It's not a. It's a new term. So the definition is kind of widely spread out around this. It's base concept. I literally just typed in quiet quitting meaning so I can get a base definition. So I do like this idea. I've always kind of felt this way about jobs, about doing what you're supposed to do and going home. Do what you come in, clock in, do what you're supposed to do and go home. That's basically what it means. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you told me that all the time when we lived together.
yeah. I mean that's how I do
All the
life.
fucking time.
You just get up, you go to work, you do your job the right way, and you clock out and go home. But and the idea is like if you work from home, there's a meeting at 5 o'clock, and they say we're gonna go a little beyond. Nope, you close your laptop at 5 o'clock or end it. Whoever said that is an idiot. You got to end the call. You can't just close it because they can still hear you. Yeah, just close it, walk away. They're not there no more. Yeah, so
Fuck 'em.
yeah, you close your laptop. You don't come in on your days off. You don't stay late. You don't come in early. You do exactly what you're supposed to do, and you go home. And it's such a very simple idea, and you would think that it should be kind of widely known. Everyone should be like, "Oh, I always quiet quit. I always quiet quit." But I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, nor is it. I think it's a good thing in theory. I just don't think it's a good thing in practice. What do you guys
I
think?
feel. All right. So I know there's one part of this that me and Squid are going to agree on the fact that we were raised differently from that completely. Ideology and work ethic of the way we were taught, brought up, and everything was you give everything you have. You do your job, you do it proficiently, and you do it better than everybody else. And that is what gets you ahead in most organizations and most companies. Now, granted, times have changed. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore, and I've unfortunately got to be firsthand experience of that with one of my old companies that I worked for. But yeah, like go in, you do your job. If they need you, you're there. If you can't be, you can't be. But at the same point, if I'm gonna go in and bust my ass and I'm gonna give you everything I got, I'm gonna come in on my day off. I'm gonna work overtime without pay. I'm gonna not take vacation so that I can work a week that I actually needed vacation. I'm gonna bust my ass and do everything I can. I expect something back from that. Now, if it's consistently that individual is showing those things, they're doing all that stuff, they're fucking outstanding in their job, and they don't get anything out of that, that's where I see the silent quitting mentality start to form. And that's what happened to me. If I first have experience, and I'll say that for a little bit when we get into this deeper, that yeah, I completely see both sides of that coin. But coming into working for a company or a career with that mentality may not be the best decision if you ever intend to go somewhere in that company.
Agreed. Ed, what do you got? What do you got?
Well, me and this fucker, basically the same fucking thing. Like my mentality in it is, of course, okay, no, not really. I've only ever worked with one company. Um, you know, I applied to other places, but I've only ever been with one company, and for the most part, they've treated me well. But I've also had the mentality of going above and beyond and pushing it because I wanted to grow. But I also understand, like, if they're not treating you well, it really just depends on your mentality, on how you're raised, and how the company treats you. If the company treats you well, like if you go above and beyond, I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but like once every couple of weeks or something, and they're like, "Hey, we really appreciate it. Here's this," or or my old boss sometimes she'd buy me lunch, like we'd close or something,
Ooh, I'll get
and
into that in a little bit.
she'd like buy lunch, and it was like it was really cool because she would appreciate what I was doing in a way like it didn't have to worry about the company. She was appreciative. It really made me want to do more for her. Like I did everything for that woman. And so like really it really just depends on, your mentality, your management, the company, how they are based. But I also think that there should be an open mentality with anybody doing it that every so often you should go above and beyond. Like, yes, you shouldn't bust your butt all the time if you don't want to. It's like a 9 to 5 job or something, but there should be the mentality that, every now and then, if they may ask you or something, why not? Like, unless you're there just to get a paycheck, but if you have any inclination of trying to grow or better yourself and move up with a company, then yeah, you're going to have to bust your butt and show up and show out. That's the only way you get recognized. And chances are, if they ask you to go above and beyond, it's because they see that and they're trying to see if you are going to.
Yeah. It's the difference if they're going to abuse that or, reward that.
Yes.
You could say ass, Ed, on the podcast. You could say ass if you want.
Man, fuck you.
So a couple things that I'm going to go ahead and shit on this logic that you have. And of course, all right, I'm a hard worker. I work my ass off. I was raised that way. When I work, now two things. I don't work based off pay. I work based off of if I like the manager. I know it's a stupid thing, but I will.
I get that.
Yeah, I'd bust my ass because my old manager, I busted my ass for him. He trusted me. He cared about me. He checked in on me. He always called me. He asked if I need anything. I will go up and beyond for someone that I genuinely felt appreciative by. But Edward, the whole buying lunch stuff, that's the whole fucking like, can I get a raise? How about a pizza party?
No.
Yeah, that's
no. But it's not like that though. It wasn't like that.
I'm saying it's like that. That's what it's happening.
No. This was my individual boss. This wasn't the company. She did more than that too. It wasn't like a pizza party. It was that like she would personally like we would get lunch and she'd buy my lunch every so often to like thank me for what I was doing. And then whenever like I wanted to try and get a raise, she always helped push me for that. The company was the one that screwed me over at that, and I'll probably get into that later about my experience with it. But it wasn't that pizza party mentality. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just want it to be known it wasn't like that. Like she really appreciated what I was doing, which is the difference between
personal pan pizza.
Well, like I would get a pizza, she'd get a pizza.
I feel it's like you said, right, Steve, where that manager checked up on you. That manager exhibited things that showed they actually gave a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what he had.
Yeah.
That's what he's experiencing. I was just
pointing it out for everyone.
Oh, I got you. No, that shit sucks.
Yeah, that's the company. That's the thing. The company will do that.
Yeah, a raise. Okay,
you want a raise?
Pizza party.
Here's 2 slices.
We know you're all underpaid, but instead of giving you the raise, we're gonna spend all this money to go do this. Oh, but we're gonna get y'all pizza too. Cool. All the managers are gonna go to Brazilian Steakhouse, and we're gonna get y'all some pizza. Y'all have a good one.
Hey guys, I know you guys are working late right now, but there's pizza in the break room. Whenever y'all get a chance, when it calms down, there's pizza in the break room. Go get y'all a slice.
Don't take your breaks.
Yeah, not now. Not now. Get up. It's on the floor.
You know what the upsetting part about this is? The realness of that compared to overnight and daytime with my company. I don't really want to say the company, but with overnight, when I was fully running overnight before I started cross-training days, like they would do like pizza during the day and then or like make something during the day and then the leftovers would be left for us and then it's like, oh yeah, there's some in there, and it's like it's just like basically the fucking leftovers sometimes.
Just the crust.
No, the crust, but like they'd buy a bunch of it, so there'd be some, but it's like because of it being overnight, they wouldn't think about ordering it at a different time.
Yeah,
they would just
I feel that
over order. Yeah. And it's like, come on, man. You could have ordered at like 9 o'clock or something.
So the company I worked for before, we had 3 shifts, a morning, a mid, and a night. And I worked mid to night shift. And it never failed. Morning would get everything. They'd get breakfast tacos. They'd get pizza for lunch. And it'd all be nice and fresh for them. Mid shift would come on. We'd get whatever pizza was left over. Maybe they'd order a couple more just for us. And then if night shift was lucky... If they were lucky, they had leftovers.
So
they had whatever pizzas didn't get eaten. Exactly.
Nice to leave some.
If not, they didn't get shit. And then the company would always say, oh, no, we're going to get them tacos in the morning before they leave their shift. No one would ever come in. They get off at 6. The actual execs don't get there till fucking 8. No one's going to come in early for that shit. So third shift would always get fucked. And there's a lot of times, second shift, we would get fucked because they wouldn't buy us anything. But first shift, though, that was their baby. They take care of them.
Because they're there. They're there. They get to see it.
Yeah.
They're the 8 to 5,
And that's the thing, like, my boss now, she had the mentality, and my other boss did it too. Like, because of that type of thing for night shift, she would give me money beforehand, and I would buy food for us during the overnight, so they wouldn't have to come in early.
Yeah, and that wasn't even company. That was her. That was just her being generous to y'all.
So she like, and I've done it for my partners too. When I've worked overnight with them, I've gone and bought us lunch, or bought them drinks. Just that little thing really can help a person that's quiet quitting kind of change their mentality and actually appreciate it too.
Period. A good manager. Period. Any good leadership in general can drive you to want to do your fucking job.
And that's one of the like beauties of being a good manager is they're known for getting you to that place and hitting quotas, but not overworking their employees. But also ties in really well is that Ed, you go on up and beyond, go on up and beyond, up and beyond to the whatever. You've done so much more than everyone else, but yet there's somebody there that has tenure that has been slacking off, that's not hitting their case count, 55 cases per hour, coming in late, getting paid more than you based on tenure. Does that seem like okay? Why is he getting paid more, but you're working, you're doing twice, you're stocking triple digits. He's hitting 50. You're doubling his work. And then when you're finished, what do? You don't leave, right? You don't leave. You go back and help, right? So not only are you doing twice what the other person is, getting paid less, you're also helping them finish their job. So so you can see why this is kind of a big issue.
That is infuriating, but that still goes back to the management, because yes, that is a true thing, and that does happen. I don't know if you'd say tenure, because that's more of a
big corp thing,
like a big corp or like professor type thing.
No,
but yes,
I mean like someone that's been there for a while.
The seniority is what they call it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
There are some managers that they have that partner that yes they throw less, but it's like they come in, they finish it, they don't need help, they don't care, they leave them and that's a good thing. That's not quite quitting, but that's like a complacent worker, and that's all fine and dandy. And then you have your people that are stars and above and beyond, and you have your slackers. But with someone like that, a good manager, and our father has told me stories about him having that situation where he's had to wean them out because they were fucking up production. You just got to wean them out, and a good manager will do that. A manager who doesn't care or doesn't care for their partners like that, then they'll just keep asking him
or some shit.
If he's buddy with them, and he'll just let it slide and say, "Yeah, just go help," instead of documenting like his case count, documenting his attendance, punctuality, or anything like that, and so he doesn't get in trouble. Letting it slide, then yes, it really just falls back on management. And that's the biggest thing with quiet quitting, and my mentality is managers, management, leadership, whatever you want to call it. That is what makes quiet quitting become a thing right now, is because it's not being run a good way, or they don't feel appreciated. Because, and I'll get into this, I've had an experience where I kind of did that, and I'll explain why. And this goes back, though, that management means everything.
Definitely. Go ahead, RC.
I feel complacency falls into this as well, right? Like, I guess because that was what I experienced. Why should I be going above and beyond and doing all this if I'm not going to get out of it? Because that was I've had that experience too. But equally, I come in, I do my job, I go home, and I'm complacent. And I do that over and over and over every day I work at this place. I have no desire to do more. Eventually, I become so complacent that I have no desire to continue doing what I'm doing. And that's at least, maybe that's just something I deal with. But that's why I guess I've always worked jobs that were physically demanding, were very requiring of my mental and physical capacity. Because if I'm doing something like just typing in, day out, all I do is I come in and I type logs. I would get so burnt out and so fucking complacent with that I would start to not want to do the job at all. And it would evidently cause me to fail.
So Office Space.
yeah, complacency. I mean, I feel like that also can tie into the quiet quitting mentality as well.
Oh, 100%. Like, honestly, complacency, yeah. I could see that being a real big thing, because that, like, it just, yeah. But then again, it also goes to the thing that if you don't love what you're doing, or if you don't at least like what you're doing, find something else.
Yeah.
No one says you have to stay at that job forever if you don't like it.
It's hard when you make a lot of money.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and
That's
argue
valid
that.
too.
I'll argue that. I don't think you have to love what you do. I think the ultimate goal is to get to somewhere where you love what you do. That's the goal. Beautiful. I love because I would love to work at a t-shirt shop that was profitable and I just fold shirts and I greet people and have funny little have regulars. That'd be awesome. It's a dream job right there. But one, I don't know anything about owning a t-shirt shop, and two, I don't know.
Steve's Bodega, check it out on Google. You know, Steve's Bodega. It's coming. Don't worry.
And
Dreams with Steve, our new segment.
And two,
Saturdays at 1 p.m.
and
Sundays
two,
at noon.
I don't know how to fold clothes, so I definitely can't work at a t-shirt shop.
Machine for it now, homie.
My old store had we had a little board thing that you put the shirt on, fold, yeah.
Nah, I just roll those bitches up and then I have to deal with them being wrinkled or hanging. Anyways, so I don't think you always have to love what you do. I just think you shouldn't work at a job that you hate. If you can go to work, if you don't have to love your job.
No.
But if you just don't work somewhere where you hate. I hear this. I got you. I get you. Ed. I hear this all the time as people say they hate their job, and I tell them the same shit. Well, quit. I can't because of the bills. But so this is what people do when they have a bad day at work. They go on Indeed and start looking at other jobs. They put applications at 2 a.m. and they go back to their shitty job. And then they ignore it. Then they ignore the responses. The thing is, if you hate a job, that hate didn't build over one night. It slowly. And when you first saw that you hated that job, that's when you started. You go in there, you revamp your resume, you go look at other jobs. You don't just say, I hate my job, and then go to the same job over and over again. That's the complacent then.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
But all I was going to say is that I said when I was talking about it, I was like, you don't have to, I said love it, but then I went back and I said, you got to at least like it.
I don't know anything about that. You just got to not hate it.
That's what I'm saying. Not hate it. You got to at least like it.
You got to be willing to go and do it. That's it. Yeah.
Which to me is liking it a little bit.
Yeah, you got to have because there's got to be something you like about it that you go in, whether it's your coworkers or the job itself or the money.
You don't have to
something
love it.
has to be relevant for you to continue going. Period.
The paycheck,
not just hate it.
A paycheck will change a lot of things for people too.
That's the trapdoor I got caught in. Right. I don't have a degree. I have a specific skill set. I've been trained and taught to do bad things to bad people. That's what I'm really fucking good at.
I think I've been all bad.
There's not.
I was about to do
There's not a lot of jobs. There's not a lot of jobs that require that kind of expertise. So sure enough, me having to hunt for jobs and look for places that I could work that paid the amount of money I was making at my old job was fucking impossible. I made so much money at my old job to where the point if I jumped to anywhere else, I was going to take a $20,000 pay cut per year. And I couldn't afford that at the time on my own bills wise.
Yeah.
So I suffered. I stayed there miserable as fuck, doing my job day in and day out. I fucking hated my job. Towards the end, I started burning through my PTO so fucking fast that they had to sit me down and talk to me because it's like, hey, you understand you've gone through all your PTO in the matter of 3 months.
You're talking about when I lived with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I can yes.
Yeah, I was like,
firsthand.
I understand. It's my PTO. I can use it how I want. They're like, okay, sure. And I still had more because I had accrued a lot during the time I worked there. And then I had sick leave and shit like that too. But it was so concerning to them watching me use that much time consecutively that they're like, hey, you should probably take a look at this. And I was like, oh, I'm good. Okay. I haven't broken any rules. I haven't, done anything wrong. So thank you. And that's just what it was. I was so miserable being there and I had nowhere else I could go. Now, granted, I also wasn't trying. And that's another thing that complacency does to you is I didn't want to try to apply for other places because what was the point? What was the point of going from somewhere I knew the job, I could go day in and day out, I could get it done and make all this money, to somewhere where I was going to have to learn something new, do something new, and have a possibility of failing. And not even make the same amount of money doing it. Like, it was a very rough spot for me, and that's, I guess, where I did silent quit. And I can firsthand say that. I did. I was there literally because of the paycheck, and if I didn't have to deal with that, I would have left so much fucking sooner.
Yeah,
and I'm thankful for the paths that life took me to get out of that position.
Like, I'll say, because I lived in them for a brief period when the tail end of this, and I was working nights because when I transferred up here. I'd go to sleep in the morning, and he'd be going to work, and I wake up at like 3 or 4, and he'd be home. I'm like, why the fuck are you home?
Don't want to be there.
Like, didn't you leave?
I
to
could leave,
work?
so I left.
I was like, didn't you leave like 2 hours ago? I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I had to drive an hour and a half every day for work. So let's put this into perspective. I drove an hour and a half to work to be there for an hour so that I could leave. And then I would drive an hour and a half home. That's how much I didn't want to be there. But I knew the rules of my call-ins and stuff. So I had to go in, get the permission to leave, and I would fucking jet because I didn't want to be there.
To like help explain, like I've seen that firsthand too. Like it was a big night and day flip from when he left and to his new one. It was it was very scary for him too. Like I know he'll say it, but just seeing it from an outside perspective, like it is a tough thing when you have to do that. Because I've never personally done it, so like, I'm just saying from what I've seen. But
RC was like the meme where it's like, anybody want to leave early, and he's just jetting out.
I didn't even raise my hand. I'm already in the fucking car.
Anybody want to leave early? Never mind. No. So real quick, PTO stands for paid time off for the people that don't have regular full-time jobs. I'm sure a lot of you out there are like, what's paid to be off? Yeah, it's a thing, guys. Full-time.
what is that?
Called accrued vacation time.
You get paid time off for working full-time hours. Okay, so here's what I'll go ahead and talk about real quick. The idea that I said earlier that it's based on, like, in theory, it's good. What did he say? Oh, in theory, it's good, but in practice, it's not. So yeah, I would love. So whenever you go to a job, they offer you money, and they see these are your list of things you got to do. You got to make sure it's stock, clean, prep, blah blah blah. And this is what I'm paying you for. You sign it. When you make that agreement, you and I have now a contract that says, these are things I'm going to get done, and this is what you pay me for. Anything else added to the list, I want more compensation. That's how it should be in theory. But also, you have people that are going to go up and beyond, and they're going to get paid more than you, and they're going to get the overtimes. They're going to eat the overtime when you don't. So whenever you want overtime, which is a thing sometimes, you're not going to get it. Whenever you ask for days off, they're going to look at you, even though they're not supposed to. They're going to say, "No, let's give it to Ed. He's been working hard for us nonstop." Yeah.
He wants that same day, but homie over here doesn't really do his job. But Ed has been doing his fucking work. Let's give it to him.
Well, see,
that is a thing.
That's not what
it is.
That's not exactly what quiet quitting is. You're kind of right.
Yeah.
It's that the guy's doing what he's supposed to do, but Ed's going up and beyond. So Ed's doing more. Yeah, but the other guy's doing his job. So that's the idea behind it. So in theory, yes, awesome. We can do this because this is relatively new, and it's kind of the same thing that if you go back in history, before labor unions were even a thing, before the child labor laws came into effect.
Thomas Jefferson?
No, RC, don't laugh. Nobody laughed.
He laughed.
No, he did not. He did not.
Man, I can't. That was funny.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
One every podcast. I'm gonna do it.
It was not funny.
The end of like this first season or whatever we do first season, I'm gonna like clip them all together.
Oh, fuck.
It was not funny. Anyways.
I tried. I'm sorry.
So back in the early days with the 8-hour workday wasn't a thing. The 5-day work week wasn't a thing. Child labor laws weren't a thing. So yeah, that's not as grueling as it is now, but that's the same concept. Ed, what you're really missing when you go in on your days off, when you go in early, you're missing time for your social life. So what's more important? The work? And you're going to say, most people are going to say yes, because I need to pay bills. But why? When you're going to get paid the same as if you're probably going to get paid more, obviously, you're going to get more money, but you're missing out on events, social aspects, things like that. You're missing out on that social life that you want to have, healthy social life. Not this whole like I can't come overnight. You can wad your finger at me all you want.
No, I have a contrary to what you're saying. I'm waiting for you to
I have something for what he's saying, so you go first. Hurry up.
Go ahead.
Because he said directed at me, that's not my mentality. For the most part, what my mentality's become for that position, like going in because of that is, okay, say it's Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going in today because I'm off, but I'm going in. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to get fucking Friday or Saturday off now, and I'll have a weekend off to actually do my social life with everybody I know who's off on fucking weekends.
That's convenient.
But that's different.
That's convenient for you now.
That's a give and take that works.
But that's the mentality I've gotten in. It's like, Yes, and also it does show. So yes, but for me, it's really not even about the money. Like yes, the overtime's cool, but half the time they don't do overtime, especially in my department. It's I go in on this day instead. I'm helping out. It looks really well, and then I get a day off later on in the week that I can actually do shit on than having a random fucking Wednesday or Tuesday where no one's off. You know?
Yeah, and this.
That's my mentality.
Yeah,
for
and
it.
by the way, I'm not directing it at you.
I know, I'm just saying, you said it's okay.
You're getting defensive again. We talked about
saying.
it.
I am attacking
I'm
you.
saying.
I'm attacking you, but I'm treating you as the general population. All right, I'm attacking
But don't
you.
say my fucking name, bitch.
That's true. I mean, you
Oh,
Squid
fucking
probably
Steve.
have the more normal of the jobs out of us.
No, yeah.
You have the more normal one out of what we do. So
That's valid.
and see, like touching on what you were saying, Steve. I had a coworker that he didn't push to be supervisor. He didn't want to be. He had no desire to move up in the company, but this guy would do everything. I mean, like up and above and beyond. He would fucking work over. He would do everything. And they used to talk shit that I was, that guy that would just fucking outdo everybody all the time, which I was because I wanted to be a supervisor. That's what I kept being promised. And then when I come to the realization that they weren't actually going to give me that, I started regressing that. This dude never did. And one time me and him got into an argument where he pretty much said about how I was lazy and why was I not busting my ass. And I told him, would you? If you're not going to get anything out of this company but your paycheck, and they're promising me all this shit, and I'm trying so hard to make that happen, and they keep just knocking me for it, fuck that. I'm not going to bust my ass for them. And he goes, well, that's not right, yada yada. I was like, let me ask you this. If you didn't get a paycheck from this place, if you did not have to fucking work because of money, would you? I fucking wouldn't.
Same.
If I didn't have to pay bills, if I didn't have to have money for a paycheck, I wouldn't fucking work. I don't think anybody in this world would. And he disagreed. He's like, no, I would. I'd still work. I would come in because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I was like, you're fucking brainwashed. Period. Because if I didn't have to work for a paycheck, I would not fucking work. Period. End of discussion.
I would work somewhere easy so I wasn't at home all the time.
Well, I'd do shit to pass the time. I'd do shit I wanted, right? I'd be a fucking gun instructor like I want to be. I wouldn't
that's what I meant.
I wouldn't be worrying about a paycheck. I wouldn't be
True.
grinding some 9 to 5 or whatever just to pay my fucking bills. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
His mentality was, no, I still would.
Oh,
Well, you're fucking on crack.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
No, and it is a level of brainwash. I mean, I don't know how the age of a person, but there is this.
He was about 2 years older than me.
Okay,
so
that's
we
not
were
too
very
bad.
close.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're like you guys mentioned your father who raised you up to be a hard worker, so did mine. But that's because they were raised that way, and my dad is the same way.
Yeah.
He's very hard working, very like he's not allowed to be at home. He has to be somewhere for 8 hours making money doing a check. It doesn't matter what he's doing, of course, but he has to be unable to feed the family. So whenever he was at when he was a kid, he was a cotton picker for him and all my uncles, which is like 12 of them, and my grandfather. They each had to pick like so much cotton. That was on them. By the way, they didn't make money off that. That was for them to go to the house. Like my grandfather would get the house, turn in the bells, get it weighed, make the money, and go back and give it to my grandma, and she'd pay the bills. That was the duties, and that kind of trickled down to this new age where some people are still in that old ways, which is fine because they're working hard. Nothing wrong with working hard, but there's also this new age. It's like, why do I have to work so hard whenever I don't have to work hard? I can do the bare minimum and make the same pay. It's more like they went from a more logical standpoint on that, which is why again it's good in theory. Now, if there's no I don't quite quit per se, but one of my jobs I have right now, and if both of my jobs are watching, they're gonna try to figure out which one it is. They're gonna try to say, is that here? No, one of the aspects I do at my job is I do quiet quit. I do my job the exact way that I was taught to do it. I turn in all my forms on the exact time. I do everything that was said to me, because I don't. There's no movement for raises in my job. It's already a standard pay. There's no raises. They gave out raises last year to full-timers, which I was not one. And the way they did it, they sent the email to everyone. They said, everyone's getting raises across the company. And I sent an email to my boss. Am I getting a raise? He said, no, you're not. Part-timers are not getting raises. and fucked. I didn't care because I didn't work above and beyond for that, so I didn't care. Now there's a new position coming up where a full-time position is happening, and now I'm doing a little bit extra, a little tiny bit extra, just a little bit.
Gotta sway yourself into that. Well, I got you.
But here's the funny part although I do quiet quitting, I'm a shoo-in for that position. I am legitimately the one they've reached out to tell about that position for anyone else. And that's because I don't cause any problems. I do my job and I do it well enough to where nobody complains about it. Where no one has to come check on me. I'm basically like, they don't check on me for months sometimes. Honestly, I feel like they just forget about me, which is perfect. That's what you want your management team to do.
This guy's still employed?
Yeah, you want them to basically forget you even work there and not have to worry. That's something that I've acquired through trust and just doing the exact thing I got paid to do. So when they offered, my pay has not gone up in 4 years, but it's a good salary. It's a really good salary. They started me off really well. I've never complained about the pay. I never asked for more money because they've never asked me to do more. Now, they have implied for me to do more, and I did not do more, and nothing changed. We had this ceremony that they wanted me to attend to help set up tables and shit. I did not go because they were not paying. Nobody sent me an email saying that no one's treating me any different. Matter of fact, I got an email that says I'm doing an amazing job, which is very rare. So, in this sense, like, quiet quitting is fine if there's no incentive for a pay increase or for a position to move up. So yes, so quiet quitting in theory is a solid idea, but in practice it is not if you're trying to move up in the company. We agree on that?
Yes. Yep. But that also goes back to the fact and I don't know how much controversy this will get.
Oh fuck, hell yeah.
But everything I've heard and shit people saying nowadays with like all the hiring process, because being overnight, and Steve knows this, and RC may know it a little bit, it is some shit at like the companies, like trying to just be staffed, and people, especially during COVID, they're applying, getting hired, working for like a week, and then quitting to go back on unemployment.
Well, and I was gonna touch on that. And I mean, not to touch in too many of the political side of this whole thing, but yeah, it's very easy for people to collect other means without having to fucking work.
But then it's some of the same.
Why would they?
And some of the same people that will use this quiet quitting thing as an excuse for it, but they're doing that.
Yeah.
And let's be real, people are gonna do the same shit, and they're gonna say, "Oh, why quiet quit? Because they were treating me right." Dude, you were there for a fucking week. You just did it to collect unemployment.
Now I don't know
but they're gonna badmouth the company because of it.
I don't know how long you have to be employed to collect unemployment, but there is a time.
It's like a week.
Is it a week?
At least that's what I've seen. Because I've seen
a single 40-hour shift in the state of Texas.
I've seen so many fucking people
in the state of Texas. I don't know about the country, but I know in Texas it's a single 40-hour shift. And if we're wrong, throw that shit in the comments.
Yeah, but literally, I've seen so many people throughout overnight just coming in for a week. Like grocery, like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. I don't even remember anybody's names anymore except for 2 people that were there when I started.
The overnight shift is a whole different. It's a whole different breed, and here's why. Because when you work overnight, you have 2 jobs. Yeah, your first job is to work overnight and do whatever you're doing overnight. Your second job is to sleep 8 hours sometime in that day. That is
to try to live a normal life.
Honestly, like
you have to at least get 4. That's all I'm saying.
See, yeah, okay, for the psychos.
Nights sucks.
Yeah,
nights. Anybody who works night rotations in any field or job, my heart goes out to you. I feel you. It sucks. It's terrible. And frankly, I feel y'all should be compensated more.
And there's pay differentials for some companies.
But anybody who applies for it,
some.
Yes, but that's the thing though. Like people who apply for it, it's not like they don't know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
So people apply because it's easy to get into, and then they'll work for a week and then leave, and then. And I'm not saying this to everybody or anything, but there are people that are doing it, and that's what I was being told. Because I asked, I was like, "Why the fuck is there so much turnover? Like, why can't we keep anybody?" And they were telling me it's because like ever since everything happened with COVID and unemployment, like everybody, like a lot of people are doing that, especially the new generation, because they don't want to fucking work.
I definitely don't think it's solely on unemployment. I do think there's a level of people out there that generally think they can handle overnight and they can't.
No, that's a valid thing.
And that's a
They
normal
think it's
thing.
gonna be easier because they don't have to deal with customers or people or whatnot, and don't realize the constraints that come with working overnight.
They also,
I can see that.
they also have that statement like, "Oh, I can work overnight, and I have the whole day to do whatever I." Yeah, that doesn't happen. Good luck, buddy. That's not the logic behind it.
And a
Really
giant
good thing about
misconception
it-
I've seen is like people think, oh, I can go to school and I can work overnight, so I still have a job and I still have all the time I need to go to school. No, fuck no. It takes a special kind of person to be able to do that shit. To work a fucking 8 to 12 hour shift overnight and then go to class in the morning and then get sleep to do it again and then find somewhere in there to do homework and shit. No, fuck you. Anybody who does that, you're crazy. I love it. Fucking good for you. Because fuck that shit.
Stop going. Left college.
Yeah, like, fuck that shit.
Did that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Got my degree in it. Yeah, my last semester I had a weird.
Okay, we're different,
yeah,
Steve.
I'm built different. Yeah, built like a refrigerator.
Ooh.
Oh.
Can I open it up?
Because you. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
You
That's
can
for a sidebar.
You can open up these guts, bitch. Anyways,
Ooh.
slut. One of the things that's so this is something that I always tell people how to get around that. It's called polymorphic sleeping. So you know that humans are like one of the few like animals that you do habitual sleeping. Like,
Yes.
yeah, we're the only
Yeah,
ones that have
we
a
have-
set time of day where we sleep for 8 hours.
Yes. What is it called? The fucking thing in your brain. The
Serotonin,
no, the clock.
Melatonin.
Melatonin.
No.
The internal clock.
Yes, but there's a word for it. The
Depression.
mental brain portion of your body that works as the clock that deviates when your body should sleep and be awake and all of that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Can't
the
remember the
medulla
name of it.
oblongata.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Anyways,
I like
continue,
that
Steve.
one.
Sorry.
Yeah. So this polymorphic sleeping is basically what I had to do. So I got out at 7:30, and then I would drive to Corpus, which was about 45-minute drive from where I worked. So whenever that I got to school, I would have 2 hours from the next class. So I'd have to class like at 10:30 or something like that. So I get there at 8, whatever. So I'd go to class. I would take a quick nap, go to class, get out of class, and then I'd have another class at 3. So the 5 hours, I would be sleeping in my car for 5 hours straight with the windows down in Texas. You know, it's something that like
Circadian rhythm. Sorry, not to cut you off. The circadian rhythm.
Okay, that sounds very familiar.
That was gonna fucking bug me. Sorry.
Boy looked it up.
Yeah.
I did. Fuck yeah, I did. I had to. That was gonna bug the hell out of me.
So yeah, that's the idea. Is that this polymorphic sleeping is good for overnighters because it kind of helps you have a life. And I actually did it before I was even like during the summer when I worked overnight. It's something you can do to really help you get through. So I would sleep when I got off work from like 8 to 12, like without school. And then I'd have 12 to 5 to do whatever I needed to do, work out, eat, whatever. And then from 5 to like 8, I would go to sleep again. And I did it for a good 7 months. And it was actually really solid. So I don't know, that's just an idea that throwing out there. If you're really having trouble having a social life, that's a good way to incorporate it.
That actually sounds like it would work very well.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It's hard to do it.
I never had a problem with nights. I never did. I have never had a problem with working nights. I have a problem working a normal 8 to 5. I cannot seem, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because maybe because I worked nights for so long that like, if you tell me I need to go into work at 6 o'clock in the afternoon and I have to work till 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I need to be up at 10 or 11 the next day, I can do that shit all fucking day long. But if you tell me that I get to go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night and I have to be up at 8, I am struggling. And I don't understand why.
No, he's not struggling. He's not up.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not awake.
Like, okay, we've done this. Our
7
father,
alarms and I'm not awake.
Our father, when he says he's gonna be there at 7, he's there at 6:45.
He's a dick.
That fucking dude is like early or on time, more of the time early, and so like we've got
What does he always say?
around.
If you're on time, you're late. That's it.
If you're
That's
early, you're on time. That's the
Yeah.
saying. But yeah, so like he'll have to plan around this motherfucker to be like, okay, so he's gonna be up to,
he hates
so we'll
it.
get there like, and then sometimes he'll be a dick and he'll get there earlier just to get his ass up. But like,
Just to
it's
force
fucking,
me to wake up.
But yeah, it's so funny because this dude does not function past before 11.
Yeah, but then that's
11.
that's the difference though from hourly to salary. So real quick, let me touch base on that.
We're going to that.
We're jumping around, man.
Yes. I want to hear.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's go.
So salary is a good way to get you. So everyone's like, oh, I want to be salary, I want to be salary, I want to be salary, because I want to get paid when I'm not there. That's the logic. But the amount of time that you work doesn't match. Like you probably get paid more hourly if you work the same if you did salary. Because when you're working salary, if shit goes bad, you're there. Because you're on salary. You're
always expected to be there.
Yeah, so like if something goes bad, you got to come in there at 5 a.m. to fix it. I mean, there's been so many times where salary has not been beneficial. And by the way, your shift doesn't end until it's fixed. So there's been a lot of controversy. But I do think that
you don't get the OT though if you're salary either.
You don't get OT. There is like companies actually do pay for OT. If you're salary. At my old job, I was salary.
Some.
And if I worked a Saturday, I could get OT, which is very rare. Of course, it's Saturday. I'm not going to come in. So no. But yeah, it was some jobs will actually honor that. But a lot of times on salary, you're not getting paid hourly for a reason because they want you there. But here's the idea that you should be getting paid not based on on an hourly rate. And I'll explain why. You should be getting paid on the quality of work that you do. There's some merit to it. So here's the idea behind it. Let's say that you hire a AC repairman, and he takes him 2 hours to fix your AC, and you give him $200. Next year, he's a better AC repairman. He knows it in and out. He knows what to do. He knows how to fix everything. So you gave him $200 last time. You call him again. He comes in. He fixed it in 1 minute, 2 minutes. He comes in, looks at it, screws some knots, leaves. And he goes, that's $200. And he says, whoa, last time took you 2 hours. That's $100 an hour. Now it's $200 for a minute. You're not paying him based on hourly. You're paying him based on merit. You're paying him on the ability to fix it. So that's why I always think your mentality should switch. It shouldn't be like, here's my hourly rate. It should be like, this is the quality of work I'm providing you, and this is the amount of money that I deserve to be compensated for it. That's how I always go into raises when I go to talk about salary or job interviews or anything. I always bring, and we'll get into job interviews in a little bit, but that's how I always start it off. Is like, this is the quality of work I'm going to give you, and this is the compensation that I would like for it. Okay, go ahead, Ed, or RC.
No, I was going to say, like, I 100% get that, and like, yeah, that is a thing, especially in certain fields. Like, I see the same thing like with tattoo artists. Like, Agreed. They can charge whatever they want if their work is damn near fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have the shop, the shop minimum or whatever, but certain artists, like, they'll charge as much as they feel like it's their worth. And if they're worth it, then if they're charging you for that, usually they're worth that money because it's amazing.
Agreed.
Even though it's outrageously high sometimes.
Yeah, and it's, again, they have the quality of work that you want to pay for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you really only get to see that in I don't want to say self-employed people, but personal businesses, right? Things like tattoo artists or car shops or, like you said, plumbers, HVAC, more of that industry where I'm providing a service, not versus the mainstream, I'm going to make you a burger.
I guess it's more
it doesn't work the same,
right?
Yeah.
Well, it's because I'm not trying to dog on anyone that's flipping burgers because I used to flip burgers. It's because it doesn't take a lot of
different work.
It doesn't take a lot of skill to flip burgers. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to know how to do. You don't have to be a fancy artist. Flipping a burger is really that simple. It really is. No offense to anyone that works fast food. When I worked fast food, it was actually a really hard job and it was tiring. But if I got fired, nobody would bat an eye. They would just fill my shift with somebody else, some other 16-year-old.
You're just a number.
Yeah. So, and those jobs, then quality does not matter. Quantity matters. But on jobs like you said, tattoo artists, plumbers, anything that has a skill that requires a level of intelligence that's beyond the field. Well, not just with a tattoo artist isn't really a trade.
But still, like trade work.
Yeah, trade and anything in the service
technically
industry.
It's a trade. Yeah, barbers, tattoo artists, that's a trade.
Yeah, because they can fuck your shit up bad.
That's true.
I mean, if that's what we're using the definition to describe as a trade.
I would use it as a definition. Like, bro.
They have a level of knowledge above the average individual. That's what I would consider.
Well, I mean, you don't have to go to. Is there a tattoo place to learn to be a tattoo artist?
Usually apprentice.
Yeah, you usually apprentice under a shop. Yeah,
well,
or an artist.
And a trade, you have to go to trade school. Even barbers have to go to trade school. They have to go to barber school.
That's straight. I get you, but I'm saying like
I'm just not gonna let it go, right?
the rest of
the podcast. This is why
it's a fucking trade.
Is it? Our next 3 podcasts are just us arguing about this.
It's just arguing about what a trade.
Look at the definition.
All I'm saying
self-employment
is that ass like with the tattoo artist, that shit's permanent. So like I would consider it damn near a trade because if they fuck it up, it's there almost for life because removal is expensive, and some artists will not touch another artist's work either to cover up even. Yeah.
Well, do you tip tattoo artists?
Of course.
You're supposed to tip.
Yes.
Well, why doesn't the tattoo artist? So how much do you tip? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to judge because I know no idea.
Let's put it this way.
Depending on piece and quality.
So, my leg was $1,000. I had 3 sessions. I did $400 the first, $400 the second, and then the third session was free because it was touch-ups, and I gave him $200 flat as a tip, $100 for each session. Basically, because he really did work with me, and it really just depends. I usually tip very well for my tattoos. I said I gave him $200 just straight in his pocket right there on the last one.
All right, no, I was
because
just curious.
He worked with me. I know, and it just really, like you're saying, it just really depends.
The biggest thing. Just how it is. The biggest thing about a tip with under a tattoo artist, it'd be, am I going to go back to them? You know what I mean? If I'm going to get a $13 fucking Friday the 13th tattoo, I'm probably never going to see this fucking artist again. So I'm going to pay my $13 and maybe I'm going to give him some cash for doing it on a good job. You know, if he did a really good job and he didn't fuck me up, cool, man. Here's a little bit extra. But most artists expect not to get anything. Now, if the guy who's doing my sleeve, for instance, I'm going to tip him a little bit extra on the first couple sessions so that he wants to do that work and he wants to do a really good job because that's an expected notion, right? That's why servers do the hospitality and the little bit extra because they want those tips. They want to make sure you're satisfied, so you give them that little bit extra. Right. Tattoo artists kind of work the same way, but also you're looking at hospitality, you're looking at quality, and you're looking at, was this worth it? Was this permanent piece of thing that I'm getting from this guy or girl worth the money I actually paid for it? And did they make it worth it? And if that's the case, that's where that tip comes in play. That's where I'm going to give them that little bit extra. I guess it's a personal thing because there are people that don't fucking tip at all.
But and it also goes back to the fact that like if you're gonna go to that person, if you're smart and you're since it's permanent, you do some like vetting. You see what they do. You see how they are. Because I've done that for all mine. Basically, I've seen how these people are before I go get my shit. Because
do your research.
It's there for fucking life, and yes, they don't expect like when I gave him the $200 because he said it was free. I didn't have to pay a damn thing. We got done. I gave him $200 cash in his hand. He goes, "What's this for?" I'm like, "Dude, cheers! Like you did amazing." He's like, "Thank you." And he even hugged shit. Like they don't expect it, but it means a lot, and it shows that you appreciate what they're doing. Because some of these people, especially in like bigger shops and stuff, they do that Friday the 13th
fuck about
shit.
you. Yeah, they don't care who you are. You're just another person who sits in their chair.
But sometimes you can really have a connection with certain people, and it means a lot.
Right. Life advice from RC kids: cheap tattoos aren't good, and good tattoos aren't cheap. Period.
Well, it depends. Well, I guess I got a nice cheap one, but that's because he's learning. He's like starting up.
I saw it. I didn't like it.
Man, you're just a little bitch. It's my little street taco.
It doesn't count for simple. Like that's a simple tattoo, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't take simplistic tattoos like that.
I mean,
take my wife's tattoo. Like that motherfucker from anyone else wouldn't have come out that way if it was cheaper. Like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get it, or it would have cost more. Shit.
Yeah. So.
Anyways, we tangented on tattoos for a while.
Yeah, no. Okay. I just wanted to know. We talked about like that. I've been seeing a lot of videos on TikTok about like tattoo artists like putting out like when a client doesn't tip, and I was just like, I mean, you're charging $1,000 for this tattoo. Why not just like tack it onto the top? Be like, it's $1,200.
Yeah.
Like, why not just do that? I'm just saying,
tell you.
like why not just say, like I said, just charge me the full amount that you want to get paid? Because I know they have like a shot minimum, but also like, or they have a shot minimum or a maximum, whatever the piece is. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't that just be smarter? Like, if you want a $200 tip, just be like, oh, it's $1,000, but let's just say it's $1,200, because I'm sure people are still gonna pay it. I would pay it because I don't know anything about tattoos. But that's just the logic, and I'm not taking away from the industry or nothing like that. I honestly would. I mean, that's awesome that you're a tattoo artist, and you should be able to charge whatever you want. If you just draw smiley faces and you want to charge $1,000, I support it 100% because that's your art. But yeah, that's definitely one. Yeah, so we definitely did tangent a lot. I do want to kind of come back to this whole job thing. So we did talk about salary and hourly. So definitely, guys, if you guys want to work hourly, that's totally fine. Just note that you're not getting paid for the quality of work. You're getting paid for the time you're being there, not your quality. So if you're going to go up and beyond, just realize that it's part of your quality. And yes, it does have some perks, but also it can come back and haunt you. As for a salary, you are getting paid to be there, but you're always going to be there. You might as well set up a cot in the back room because you're basically living at that store. But now we can tie into like interviewing. I mean, I don't know the last time you actually did like a real interview.
Well, actually, it was when I got my stock controller position. I legitimately interviewed with my boss.
But weren't you like a shoo-in already? How was the interview even like? Like it was just like was it like actually an interview, or was it basically like you knew you got it without the interview?
The stock controller, I guess. It was a shoe-in. When I went to Impulse, from Frozen to Impulse, I went from grocery to back to GM, and I went to Impulse. I legitimately interviewed. I wasn't a shoe-in. She had mentioned that they were putting a position opening. And I was like, cool if I apply? She goes, yeah. So I applied. I legitimately interviewed with her. So what was your question with the interviewing? Like, so I can continue.
No, I was just saying, like, how was the interview?
It was
like, what are the questions they asked you? I'm very curious.
Well, I guess it's weird because I've only, like I said, I've only had this job at this company for years, 8 years to be exact. But I've had multiple interviews because I've had multiple positions throughout either different stores and everything. But my most recent one was going from Frozen, aside from my stock controller one, because that one was kind of basically a shoe-in. They just wanted to talk to me. But to go into Impulse, it was legitimately like talking to them. They basically just asked like about my experience, what I've done, because I am from a different region when I got there. And I was in grocery also, so it's a different department. They gave me some scenarios. It was just kind of getting to know me and just seeing my mentality. Because, of course, I was also already in the store aspect. I'd already been there for 6 years. I think 6 or 7 years. So, you know, I've been there for so long that it wasn't like a fresh candidate. Because I know there's a different amount of questions between like a brand new candidate and like a veteran that's transferring to a different department or different like store or moving
that's
up.
True. Yeah.
So it was more of them getting to know me and that fact because I've been at that store already.
So I was
at the store for about a year.
So it was like a meet and greet basically on that one.
Yes and no, because they also asked me about the department and stuff. Like they gave me some scenarios because they didn't know me fully yet. So it was a flat out interview. It just wasn't like a very formal, brand new interview. You know what I mean?
They were looking for the answers they wanted.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. RC, what about you? You've interviewed recently, right? Like within the last like year and a half, right?
Yeah, actually, the job I'm in now. So
and that's a different job, like in a whole different area of your life.
Oh, entirely.
Yeah, like completely like flip script on what you used to do, which is in corrections, correct? That's what it's titled. Yeah. So you went from corrections to like it's IT?
Customer service, technically. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So how was that how did that like transcribe?
It sucked. Because like every interview I've ever done has been, you know, I've worked a lot of places. I've done a lot of things over my life. I've done a lot of different shit, worked for a lot of different companies and people. And I've always interviewed the same, right? I've gone in, sat down with somebody, had a nice conversation, answered their questions to the best of my ability, and I got the job. It always just happened to work out that way. There's never been an interview I was in that I didn't get the job. I interviewed 11 different times for this job.
Holy shit.
I applied over 11 times. Granted, take 3 of those out because they were for different positions. For the position I'm in, I did apply a lot. Couple of them I got an interview and didn't make it past the first interview. The other ones I did. Finally, after the 11th time I interviewed, I made it past the first one, made it past the second one, and yeah, I mean now I'm doing it, but it sucked because it was the first style of interview I ever had where I had to have it structured. They told me at the beginning, we're going to give you a couple of these, like they gave me a list of questions that I could be asked, and then they gave me a method in which they wanted the questions answered. It's called the STAR method.
Okay, yeah.
You can look it up. Yeah. That's how they wanted all of their questions answered. And if I didn't use this method, then I wasn't even looked at. I wasn't even a candidate. It was an immediate no. Thank you. So this is the first time I ever had to experience doing that or using that, and it was really, I guess, crazy for me. Like I it really took me learning this new aspect of how to not only take the answers that I would typically give or ways I would typically answer these questions, because it's pretty simple enough to answer interview questions, at least for me it is, but take it and put it into the perspective and way that they wanted it. It was a fucking bitch. Like it really was. It sucked. But nonetheless, after a little bit of tweaking and failing a couple times, I got it. I apparently, right, I have the job, so I must have got it.
Yeah, congrats.
But yeah, no, it definitely sucked. It was definitely challenging, and the biggest thing, like interviewing wise, is don't be nervous. Like go in there, say what you got to say. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, try again. Go somewhere else. Like that's something that I had to really, I guess, learn. Is I'd never failed an interview. I'd never not been picked. So that level of failure is something I never experienced before, and it did take me having to, I guess, come to my own sense with that.
No, I definitely feel like interviews are very stressful, and there is like, I mean, there's a like being nervous is really like it happens. Like there's no way around it unless you've done like 1,000 interviews. You're still gonna be nervous. Even then, I think you'll be nervous, and
it's so it's so stupid to me. Like, and this is, I guess, I don't understand why, because I was more nervous doing this interview to get this job I'm currently in than any of the interviews I did to work with the federal government. Any of them.
Because this was a totally different field.
Yeah, like I guess that's what it is, right?
It's a totally different field from what you were in.
Going into, so I applied for the U.S. Border Patrol and I didn't get into. I got into it. Long story short, I did not pursue that career. When I did my interview for Border Patrol, I aced it. I wasn't even nervous. I didn't even fucking flinch going into that interview. But I was more nervous, sweating bullets, trying to do this one. Like it's
it's because you knew it, dude. I'm telling you.
I guess, yeah.
It has to be. It's because you knew what you were talking about. You lived it. You've learned it. Like all of it. Going to this, it was just night and fucking day, my guy.
I do feel like
that's a good point.
Like a level.
At least from my
no, you're right. A level of knowledge or comprehension of the actual field you're going into. Like you've already been doing it for a couple of years. You know what they're going to ask you. It definitely settles. For me, you know, I've been teaching for years, and I've gone into teacher interviews are the absolute worst. They're so bad because you're not interviewing you're interviewing HRs there, but also the principal of the school. So it's not like another HR representative or it's the principal. When you interview with the principal, you kind of know how they're going to be a principal. And I've interviewed for about 5 schools, and they all went really well. I didn't get picked. I got picked for one of them, and I went and worked there for a little bit when I was in San Marcos. But the one I didn't get picked for was a new principal. She was a brand new. She was like around my age. She was like 35. She was a young woman, and the way she brought her energy was just so terrible. She comes in and she goes, "Yes, I'm a principal. I'm a woman, and I'm young." That's how she started the interview. And she goes,
I'm instantly, can I go? I'm fucked. Like, I'm out.
No, she started the interview like that. And then I was like, yo, all right, I already didn't like this. But of course, I didn't say that. I'm just like, listening. And then she goes, here's how this interview's going to work. We're going to ask you a question. You're going to answer it. When you've answered the question, I'm going to cut you off. Okay, basically saying that I'm not going to let you go beyond that. Nothing else. Once you've answered the question for me to hear, I'm going to cut you off.
She's going to interject.
Yeah, she did that about 7 times. And the questions are not great, but a lot of it's very common knowledge, like about, like, they give you a lot of scenarios and things like that, the ones I went to. It was a brand new school, too, so it was kind of like, there was a lot to it. But something I've learned about interviews, I've gone through about 30 interviews, like about 2 months ago. So I'm really good. A lot of them was on Zoom, so nothing crazy, but one thing I think you should ask is, what's the retention rate? This question's a weird question to ask, and it doesn't work for everyone, but you definitely, for your own knowledge, you want to know for retention rate. If they say that they have the retention is very low, like they can't keep employees, that's a red flag, and you should not work there. And take that and actually go with it, because they will. If they have a high retention rate, they're probably going to call you back. Or if they have a low retention rate, whatever the percentage is.
Yeah, if they have a low retention rate, odds are you're getting that job because they need you. They already have disclosed they need the fucking bodies.
Yes. Yeah. So you should definitely always ask them about it, just to like verify that it is a good job. And that's something I learned. One of the other questions I like to ask in interviews, and you got to kind of find a way to segue to where you're not being a dick about it. This is how I do it. They always, at the very interview, they always ask you this question. They say, do you have any questions for me? This is the question you ask. You said, why wouldn't you hire me for this? Oh, why wouldn't I be a good fit for this company?
Yeah.
This is the first question. The reason why is because they're going to tell you exactly what you did wrong in that interview. They're going to say, oh, your experience isn't there. We have candidates that's been working in the industry for 10 years. And then you can come back with them and say, well, my experience might be not as, I might not have as much experience as other candidates. I'm going to bring a fresh eye to the position, and I'm going to learn as I go, and I'm going to do the position to like the best. You can make it up your own shit.
I'm not going to bullshit it.
I'm not going to give you the fucking the equation for getting a job every time. But that's a good question to ask, to actually understand more about that position, and also what you did wrong. Another question you can ask an interviewer is this is how you get them to get hard. It's how you get your interviewer to get a boner, guys. Pay attention. All right, you said.
Yeah, I'm about to get a boner.
You said.
Say it. I need to get a boner.
What's the potential for me to move up in the company when I get hired? Because nothing gets interviewers' dick so hard when they know that you want to move up in their company. Jesus
I need
Christ.
to pause. I need to go change my shorts.
Yeah, change your shorts. We all change our underwear. I'll change mine because I just shit myself. But yeah, that's something that you can definitely do. Like, they want to hear that. They want to know that you're interested enough of the company.
Determination.
That you're willing to move up. That's something that they want. So that kind of gets them hard. A couple little tips that I use. This is a personal thing, and I don't know if y'all disagree. Is I never mention that I have a girlfriend or I have a kid. Legally, an interviewer cannot ask you, do you have a kid? They're not allowed to ask you that.
And that's how they try to get it out of you. And that normally tell me a little about yourself.
Exactly.
That's what they're looking for. So don't ever disclose, I have a family, I have a kid, I have a dog, I have anything that can put an outside constraintive on you, because there's a chance that, depending on what they're really wanting, they're going to see that as, and it's really shitty, but a lot of, unfortunately, with companies where you're just a number, this is what happens. And it's that, you're not going to be here when we need you because your priorities are elsewhere.
Exactly. So be careful about that. They will get you on that. I'm very big on not mentioning, even if I have a girlfriend, she's non-existent. Anything that can keep you from doing the job, to the capacity. And, again, they don't need to know that shit. You don't have to disclose that. You don't have to disclose that you have a kid. You don't have to disclose you have a girlfriend or a wife. You could take that ring off, RC, if you ever want to, and you can go about your business. Now, again, as far as a wife, they will know, because there is paperwork on the HR is going to get paperwork for your I-9. So when you get your I-9, that's basically saying, I file a single, blah, blah, blah. They're going to file. They're going to know then. But as a girlfriend or having a kid, maybe the kid as well. But again, they're not.
There's a chance. But all that paperwork's normally done a little after the interview process. So if they're having you do all that prior, you're typically already locked into a contract or something of those sorts. So just don't lie. Just fucking have that convo.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you're right. They do it after the conversation. So once they get the job, that's when they submit your I-9 because that's when they need to get the paperwork rolling so they can start following. Like your W-2 and all the other fireworks. So yeah, you're definitely right on that. But yeah, there is a level of there's levels to this shit when you're interviewing, and you got to keep in mind. You got to be mindful on every aspect of it because no matter what you say, you could be the best candidate, but if you say the wrong thing, that's gonna stick with them. Also, a last little tip on that interviewing: if don't be like Ed, be funny.
What, bitch? I made that motherfucker laugh.
I mean, you had to throw shade at the last for just because you could.
Get the fuck off right now, you little shit.
Fuck everyone. Fuck Squid and that shit joke. No, seriously. Like if you
he's just bitter.
If you make them laugh, but the final thing that especially if you're working in that position, the final thing to get a job is if they want to be around you. Dude, I swear to God, there's been times where
camaraderie.
I basically like whenever I applied for IT, I didn't get the job, but I basically found out that the guy that was interviewing me loved Star Wars. So whenever I did the interview, he's like, "Tell me about yourself." I was like, "Oh, I love all these. I like nerd things. I'm into like gaming, Star Wars." He's like, "Star Wars?" You know, if they want, because they would love to talk shop with you. That's one of the things they like to do. So if you
they have someone who can build camaraderie with, and that's great. Yeah.
So those are a couple. My voice just cracked. I swear, I'm an adult. Those are some things you can kind of do, and when you go for interview, definitely consider those things, or don't. I mean, it's up to you. It's your job, right? Lavender shirts, but so that's the idea. And this whole time we've been talking about jobs. We've all worked me and RC have worked in different industries. So I've definitely seen my fair share of interviews. Positions and things like that. So I'm definitely aware of a lot of things. So whenever I heard about this quiet quitting business, I definitely wanted to bring it up because I feel like it's something that's big, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're just lazy. You're just lazy." Why is he lazy for doing the minimum requirement of what he's supposed to do? Why are we shaming him for doing the thing he said on a piece of paper? This is what I'll do. This is the pay I'm going to get. We shouldn't shame them for doing it. What we should do is if they got a raise, we should shame the employers. Like we shouldn't be like that's what you should do, really. But either way,
I think we're gonna need to do a pop-up episode or like a smaller episode or even just a whole episode dedicated to how to get a job. What do's and don'ts you should have, and equally maybe we can discuss a lot of the jobs that we've done. I think that would be a really cool one, even if we just do a pop-up episode of how to get a job. I think that would be a great. If y'all want to see that, throw it down in the comments and let us know, man. We can definitely do something like that. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, you can see us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music.
I had a good segue, and like you just totally took it. Yeah.
Was it good?
It was. You had it.
It was. No. It was like I was gonna say I have a bunch of jobs, and it was like podcast host. By the way, you can follow us at all your podcast channels.
Okay, take it away. Yeah, you can follow us there.
It's right. Just guys, if you guys love our podcast, we really appreciate all the love and support we get on this channel. So if you can come give us a follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've already been making plans. I know you guys are like, God damn, these guys talk about making plans and never
just discussed it.
We've been talking about this for a while. Sorry,
we have some crazy lives, man. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a full-time slut. I mean, educator. Yeah. So
I keep getting you up texts.
Ed's a stalker and a stalker. He stalks people. Yeah,
double S.
Yeah, and RC, we don't know what the fuck he does. So
he can't see straight.
Fuck you.
So, yeah, we definitely love the support. So, definitely follow us at all your podcast channels. We are on all of them, Spotify, Apple Music. We are not on Pandora. So, for the 5 people that are on Pandora, I'm so sorry. Just go to your friend that has Spotify and just listen there. Yeah, sorry.
Go to YouTube. It's fucking free.
Oh, shit. YouTube, it's fucking free. Yeah, check us out. See our
tagline
beautiful
right there. Yes. YouTube, it's fucking free.
Yeah, see our beautiful
YouTube,
faces.
sponsorship. Let's go.
Yeah, come on. Yes. I don't know how you get sponsored by YouTube, but fuck it, let's do it.
I don't know either.
That word's probably going to keep us from getting sponsorship with YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube's like, fuck these guys. But yeah, we definitely appreciate it, guys. And we've been, again, I'm on these guys all the time. because we definitely been hitting our marks. I'm very impressed. So I don't know what episode we're on anymore. I got to start titling these.
We're gonna start counting. I guarantee it.
15 or 16 is what I think
we're doing
on.
15 or 16. We did that. So we've done episode 16 weeks straight. And I honestly, when we first initiated this, I was thinking 12 episodes was going to be sufficient, and then we just kept it going. We have big things coming in the future. I'm very excited for the future. But yeah, we're gonna go and table this conversation because it got way too long, and Ed has to go jerk off a homeless man in the alley at 4 a.m. So we definitely got to end this pretty soon. So
they're fucking begging for it. I gotta go.
So with that being said, thanks guys for watching. We catch us next time. I don't even know what we're gonna do next time. Shit, we don't
figure
even.
it out.
Yeah, we literally just fucking we just go with the flow.
As always.
Thanks guys for watching. We're all over the place, guys. Thanks guys for watching. You guys have a great week. We'll catch us next time. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
Later.